Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Eric Christensen. I am an account manager on the Limo Anywhere team. And today we are going to talk about lead quote close, or otherwise known as LQC. So starting off, what is lead quote close? Lead quote close is going to be a replacement to the online reservation system that you get natively with the core package on Limo Anywhere. And with lead quote close, this is going to enable you to do a few things in a little bit more detail than you could with the ORES. You're going to be able to price much more dynamically. You'll be able to automate your follow-ups using our touchpoint triggers. And you're going to be able to track your marketing efforts and glean insights from them to better refine those efforts as you move along with the system. So today, what we're going to go through is an example of a typical customer booking flow. From there, we'll dive into those automated touch points, and then we will touch on the rate engine so you can see how it is structured to price more dynamically. After that, we will get into the marketing dashboard so you can see how you can refine those marketing efforts and track those conversions. And then finally, I will outline the online course that you would go through to build it. You can also use that online course as a refresher for those of you that are already on lead quote close, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen here. And this is just my demo environment, but just to start off, you have a variety of forms to choose from. You're not limited to just one. You can put multiple forms and different ones on different subdomains within your web page, as well as on multiple web pages in general. With CSS code, you can refine these as well to have them match your booking style and flow. You can have simpler forms for something simple like an airport transfer page, or something more in depth for, say, a party bus environment if you wished. We also have a AI chatbot that is in development, but I will forgo that for now. And for those of you that are interested, we can discuss that a little bit later at the end. So just diving right into the form, I'm going to use this contact form here. This is the one that we typically recommend on your main web page because it does prompt for an email address and phone number right from that first step. So it gives us the information that we need to then do that drip or nurture marketing with those touch points later on down the road. So I am going to just fill one out for getting home from the airport for me. They do have a good autocomplete and recognition of dates or addresses rather in the system. And we're just going to go ahead and do a from airport. We'll put 2 passengers and just populate my data because I've used it before. And from here, the widget would then natively expand on your web page. Let's do this one more time, shall we? Up to test environment, right? So doing this one more time, Denver International Airport, dropping off at my house. End of the week, 10:45 pickup, there we are. And add my email address. It does also give you the option, depending on the form configuration, to make things round trip right from that first page if you wished as well. So again, that widget would then natively expand on your web page. Any vehicles that you wanted to maintain a request a quote function for whatever reason, or prompt for hourly rates versus a point-to-point, you'd be able to do so as well. We can also have inventory awareness for vehicles and have that displayed here also. From here, after vehicle selection, the customer would confirm their information, and then you'd go into that booking flow. You can display whatever you wished in terms of pricing. You can have something as simple as the total or be more detailed if you wished. This is, I marked as an airport run, so it's asking me for airport details, but these can also be skipped if the customer does not have those details at the time. We do enforce a strict luggage capacity, just like the ORES does, so no one, books a sedan with 5 sets of golf clubs at the airport. And then we also have vehicle categories that can be triggered to the vehicle selected. So for example, if you wanted to have a line item here where a wet bar were an option, but that is not something that would be feasible in a sedan. It just wouldn't appear. But if someone booked the Sprinter van, then that would be a feasible option at that point. Going through the final step here, just signing and accepting the terms, and then you are ready to put in your credit card and book your trip, and it would be created in Limo Anywhere just like any other reservation. So let's assume that your customer was just looking to get a price. You're going to be able to follow up with that customer in an automated fashion using our touchpoint system. So we have a few different triggers that you can go off of, and we can have messages sent to that customer via the email address and phone number they provided to follow up for you and bring them back into that customer booking flow, so you don't have to do it manually. For example, I'll probably get a text here in a few moments saying, hey, Eric, do you have any questions regarding your sedan trip from the airport on Sunday? Click here to book now, or if you have any questions regarding your quote. These messages are going to be sort of default language that we have set up in here, but you can tailor these to make them your own. In addition to having text message or email automated follow-ups, you can even task an employee with manually reaching out to those customers. So they could go, for example, into a quote when it were about to expire, if you will, and then they could say, reach out to that customer manually, offer a discount or something to provide service, and then check and make sure that that quote looks good before then emailing that out to the customer, and allowing them to complete that booking. There are some other tools here within the stripped down CRM that you can use to verify that the trip locations were put in properly and the routes are set correctly. From here, I'm going to dive into the rate engine, and this is really the strength of the lead quote close system. This is going to enable you to really price however you want to. We have a few different tools on top of your base rate sheet that will enable you to do this. For example, our selection factors are going to provide you with a simple if and then logic to allow you to provide an uptick or downtick on top of your base rate. Based off the location for the pickup or the drop off, or the time of day or date, or even the inventory of your fleet. So you can price more like a hotel or an airline does. With our zones, this will enable you to prompt for hourlies over point to points for, say, concert venues if you wished, or you could even put in request a quote zones for anything that is outside of your main operating area. Within your rate sheets, you're going to be able to get a bit more granular with how you do your distance or mileage based rates. You'll notice that we can do progressive, flat, or fixed, similar to what you saw in the traditional Limo Anywhere setup. But in addition to that, we'll also be able to price per days or by passenger. And this is where we would incorporate the line items that you saw in the booking flow. We also have a section for, say, fixed rates. So if you needed or wanted to incorporate a fuel surcharge, for example. And then finally, we also have the ability to incorporate legs. So if you have an out of the way trip and you wanted to, say, include the first 5 miles and then charge $2.50 per mile before that pickup or after that drop off, if you will. So you can make up for those deadhead mileage moments. From here, I'm going to touch on the marketing aspect. You'll get a few resources that are pulled in from that data collection, from those forms, that you can then analyze and then redirect or refine your marketing efforts. You're going to have a lead funnel, so you can see how many visits are becoming leads, what your visit to lead ratio is, how many of those are getting quoted, and then eventually, how those are getting booked as well. We can refine the source on these also. So you could say sort by ad source, if you will, to see if, say, your Facebook is getting any traction here. We could also sort leads by URL or by trip date if you were looking for more of a heat map that you wanted to later incorporate further selection factors to accommodate. We also have a section for lost leads reasons, so you can see if you're pricing yourself out of the market. Furthermore, if you are doing any pay-per-click marketing, we can connect those efforts with our campaign builder and pull the data gleaned from that Google endpoint so you can get a better picture of what your customer looks like. Now, this platform does require a large amount of data points to be put into it in order for it to accurately reflect quoting for your system. So what we've developed is a course to assist you in filling out everything you need to have this work the way you wish it to. There's a step-by-step guide that we've created that will take you literally step-by-step through the entire process. We have video, we have podcast options in the event that you wanted to listen to instructions while on the road, and then a text version if you just don't like the sound of my voice. Once you move into each section, it'll supply you with everything you need to complete it, and then move on to next. In the event that you are having any issues completing any section within here, it'll allow you to book a session right from the spot that you are stuck, where you could work with the lead quote close specialist and refine what you are trying to do in more detail. If you do have any further questions and would like to dive into the lead quote close booking widget in more detail in a one-on-one environment, I have a QR code here that you can scan, and that will lead you directly to my calendar. From there, you can book a 15 or 30-minute session. I suggest 30, especially if you want to really get into the weeds here. If you just had a simple question, the 15 minutes should suffice. For those of you that are active users of Lead Quote Close, in addition to that training portal that you can access as well, we are offering the ability to take part in beta testing for our Lead Quote Close chatbot that we have recently brought out. Let me pull that form up for you so you can. I'm going to also put this form into our chat so you can copy this link as you see fit and fill it out if you wished to be beta. Put this into our chat. Okay. I'm going to scan back over to the QR code if you would like to book some individual time. If there are any questions that you would like to field, you could put them in the chat. I believe I ran through this pretty quickly, so it looks like we have some more time available.
Eric, are there multiple versions of the widget that we can place on our website?
Absolutely. So you have several forms to choose from that you can use, and these forms can be formatted using CSS code. So for example, this is our basic contact form. And then with CSS code, you could adjust that to make it more refined or provide an opaque background. We also have the microform, which is fairly popular, and you can also adjust this as well. And every form, for that matter, can be tailored to look like your website.
And most of our customers find that a lot of their bookings are starting to take place on a mobile device. Are these forms mobile friendly as well?
Absolutely. And I'll show you an example here of how, say, this contact form can look like in a mobile environment. And then I'll go back over here and we'll do the same thing with, for example, this micro form, so you can see how it looks.
Can you confirm you're sharing your screen?
Looks like I wasn't sharing my screen. Forgive me. Let me correct that. Yeah, so back to those forms. Yeah, all of these can be formatted using CSS code, and they are all mobile friendly as well.
And so one of the things we hear from the customer base is that they'll notice a lot of people will come to their website, start completing the form, but then drop out before receiving a quote. Does Lead Quote Close enable them to still market to these users?
It does, absolutely. So you will have essentially a transactional CRM with this as well, where you'll be able to, say, access those unclaimed leads yourself, or turn those leads into a quote and allow the touch points to follow up, or manually follow up with them yourself if you wished.
And then James and Eric, one of the Nick is asking, will a form of the chatbot be coming soon that will integrate with Lead Quote Close?
Yes, this chatbot is meant to utilize the lead quote close rate engine and complete a booking for you right from within that chatbot.
And they can sign up to be a beta user using the link in the chat here. And then another question from Anthony, is there a way to transition rates from our Limo Anywhere into Lead Quote Close, or do you have to start from scratch with rates?
You would be recreating rates in order for the lead quote close rate engine to really bring out the strengths of those selection factors and automated zones, rather, to make it more dynamic. You'd want to recreate what you originally had with the ORES.
And then Matthew asks, is there a feature that captures unfilled out forms, which we kind of covered just a second ago, but just to confirm. So if a user goes into the Matthew's website, starts to fill out the form, but doesn't submit the quote or book the ride, but did fill out enough information where an email address was provided or a phone number, is he able to then take advantage of that contact information and send out an automated text or email trying to engage that user to fully complete the quote or the booking?
Yes, they will live in this space and allow you to manually or in an automated fashion dive in from there.
And then Derek asked, what is the cost associated with Lead Quote Close?
Lead quote close is going to be 1% of revenue booked through the widget. So if it's booked through the widget, then it will be 1%. There is a $300 monthly minimum for that as well.
Okay. Well, I think that covers all the questions that have been asked. We'll make this presentation available online. And Eric, if you can share your QR code for anyone, again, who wants to book some time with you, I would recommend anybody interested in learning more, schedule some time with Eric and do a deep dive. And if you're interested in becoming a beta user of our chatbot, follow the link in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. Thank you, Eric, for taking the time to share some of this information. And we appreciate everyone that attended.